Alright, so what I have in this box is going to be a really cool new option for Sony shooters. And that is the brand new wireless microphone from Godox. This is the WEC-S mic. So it's not just a wireless microphone, it's a wireless microphone that's going to require you to use no cables at all, because it's going to utilize the digital hot shoe on top of your Sony camera. So all you need to do is plug it in, and that's it. And you're on to recording. So once you plug this thing in, you won't need to adjust your camera settings for volume. It's all going to be done from the microphone. All right, so let's get this box open to see what you actually get with this kit. So opening the box, you'll see inside you have this nice little carrying case, and then you have like an instruction manual. So definitely read the instruction manual, but you won't need the box anymore. So go ahead and throw that away. So right away, you see it has this kind of nice little case here. It's a nice little padded case. It's fairly small. It'll fit nicely into a camera bag or inside of a backpack as well. But if you want to pack this thing even smaller, you can just open this thing up and take out what's inside of here. So inside here, you're going to have an elastic section here. You're going to be able to store your USB-C cables. You will be able to use a microphone 3.5 cable in here, because if you want to use this microphone, you can still use this on other cameras. You just have to switch it to analog and then plug it in through cable. But if you're using Sony, like I said, you can just use that digital hot shoe and then no cables. You will get 2 of these windscreens inside here as well. And then if you flip open this section here, you'll see that it comes with the charging case. So inside of the charging case is going to be your microphones and your receiver. So looking at the back of the case here, you can see it has a USB-C. That's going to be to charge it. So opening up the front of the case, you'll see when you open it, you get the nice indicators that show you the level of charge on the receiver and the transmitters. So inside here, you'll see it has the 1 receiver and the 2 transmitter microphones. And you'll see that they're blinking here. That means that they're actually pairing. So this thing you don't need to actually set up and pair. Once you put them in the case and then reopen the case, they should automatically pair together. For some reason, if they don't, there is a pairing dial on the receiver as well. But let's take the receiver out here. So you have this nice little digital hot shoe receiver here. You can see the bottom of it has the connector for the mic. So on the side here, you'll see one of the switches here is going to say analog and digital. So if you're using your Sony camera, you want to make sure that it's set to digital. If you're using any other camera and you're using a cable, you would obviously want to set it to analog. And then the next switch behind that there says RX mic. So what that actually is that you can turn that on or off. So if you're using the camera by yourself and you don't want to use one of the wireless mics, you can actually just use the microphone that's just built in on the back of the receiver itself. You can use this with the mics as well, but if you are close enough to where those mics are picking up, you're going to get a weird kind of double audio, so don't do that. So pretty much if you're going to use this by yourself, just use this mic, skip the wirelesses altogether. So on the other side of the microphone, you're going to have your 3.5 millimeter jack, you're going to have your power switch, you're going to have your mode dial switch, and your pairing switch. So first, let's just get this right on the camera here. So all you need to do to install this is just literally plug it right into your digital hot shoe, and you're going to hear it click because on the back there's a little switch that locks it in place, so it's not going to fall off. Then if it's not already powered on, you can hold down the power button, turn on the power. So then you're going to see that it's going to come up with a couple of green LEDs. Both of those are going to correspond to the microphone. So if I take one of the microphones out and then close the case, eventually it's going to switch to just the one here, and it's going to indicate that you only have one microphone and it's going to be in mono. So now that you have it turned on, you can see only one green LED on. That means that only the one mic is going. The blue LED next to it means that it's connected to your digital hot shoe and it is currently working. If I pull out another microphone, it's going to turn on that other green one. So using this microphone system, you're going to be able to have a couple different options. First option is going to be if you want to use just one of the transmitters. That way you're only going to have a mono signal and it's only going to be the one channel. So if you want to use 2 microphones to microphone 2 different people, you have a couple different options with that. So once you hook up the second microphone, as long as the lights are still green, it means it's going to be in mono. So if you're running 2 microphones, it's going to record both people in a mono channel. So if one person's kind of quiet and one person's kind of loud, you're not going to really be able to mix that well. So the other option would be to switch this to stereo. So if you hold down that front button where it says M, the mode, you're going to hold it down for 5 seconds and it's going to turn blue. So by switching into stereo, you're actually going to get the option now of having one microphone on the left side, one microphone on the right side. So then in post, you can actually split those and then process them both differently. So that way, if you want to adjust the volume levels or if you want to process the EQ and compression differently, you can do that. Otherwise, you can literally just put them back into mono as well. Or even just leave them left and right stereo if you want to go that route. And then the third option would be, like I said before, you can use the microphone on the back of the receiver as well, and then you can just use that instead of using the wireless mic. So if you are going to go outside, it might have a chance of being windy. I would probably use the windscreen, and literally the windscreen literally just pops right on top of the microphone. It's just like a little cover, and then it's installed. So now you can just use the mic. All right, so let's switch the setup here to the microphone and just see how this sounds on this camera. Okay, so now we're using the WEC-S microphone. This is what this microphone sounds like. Now the first thing you'll notice when you plug in this microphone is that now the volume setting that you had in the menu of your camera, that button's now grayed out because now you cannot adjust the volume levels from the camera because the microphone's plugged in the hot shoe eliminates that function. So on the microphone itself, there are 3 different volume settings. There's a low, a medium, and a high. And on the side of the receiver, you'll see it has a plus and a minus. So if you want to go to the low volume, you just literally hit that minus button 3 times. It's going to go down to the low. On the flip side, if you want to go to the high volume setting, you're going to hit the plus button 3 times and go to high. Now, the one thing I would like to see is I wish this microphone would go a little bit lower in volume because sometimes I feel like you can get kind of hot on this microphone and a little too loud. But this is how the microphone sounds in the low setting. So there's another really cool feature that's on this microphone. So if you look at the side of this transmitter, you'll kind of see that there's like an orange button there. So that orange button, what that does, it actually turns on like the noise canceling feature. So if you're in like a really loud environment, lots of people in the background, maybe trees, wind. So if you turn that on, it should eliminate a lot of that background sound. Now, I don't know if this microphone is going to sound much different on your voice when you turn that on. I have seen some other microphones where when you turn that on, it does kind of make your voice sound a little nasally. So we'll test that here in a sec here. In fact, let's do it right now. So the way you'll tell that this thing went into that noise canceling is that green LED on the front is now orange. Once that's orange, now the background noise should go away. Now, we're in a studio right now, so you're probably not getting a lot of background noise. We are going to go outside and do a range test in a sec here, so we'll check to see what that button does outside. So let me turn that off here. So if you guys have been following this channel, you'll see that I've actually been a really big fan of like these digital hot shoe microphones. Like I've been using these like SONY shotgun microphones, which I think are really excellent solution because of the auto gain feature they have. And then there is that new DJI Mic 2 kit where you can get like the wireless microphone kit, which is like $355. And then this is like an extra $40. It's a really expensive kit if you're just trying to use like a digital hot shoe mount wireless system. Now the thing with this kit is that this thing has tons of different features. It has the 32-bit float audio. It has internal recording on the microphones. If you're not looking for a kit like this and want to spend that much money, this other kit is a very good option because this one only comes in at $99. So for $100, you're going to get a wireless kit that has 3 microphones technically, and it just plugs into your Sony hot shoe. And then all you really need to do is just plug and play. You don't have to really worry about your volume levels so long as you have it set on low on the microphone. It's a really easy kit to use, and it doesn't take up much space at all on the camera. That's my really favorite part about this whole setup, is it's very minimal how much bulk it takes, because I'm used to film where you used to have a huge gigantic shotgun microphone with a big windscreen, and it was kind of annoying that you always had to take it off. It was always crazy huge. People looked at you all the time like you're filming some big production. I just wanted to be a little bit more sleek, and systems like this are really cool for that. I think this is going to be a very good option. So if you guys are just looking for like a basic wireless kit that's going to plug right into your Sony hot shoe, this is the kit I would highly recommend. So let's go take this thing outside. We're going to go do a range test. Now the range tests are kind of dumb because realistically you don't really walk away that far from your camera, but we're going to go do it anyways just to see kind of like how good this microphone actually is. All right, so for this range test, I'm just going to walk down the street here as far as I can, all the way down to the intersection's about maybe like 500-600 feet, so it's quite a ways away. You wouldn't probably go that far away from your camera because, let's face it, you walk away that far from your camera's probably going to walk away with someone else. So the other test we're going to do is you can see if the mic cuts out when I turn my back away from the camera, because you do want to have a clear line of sight with the wireless microphones. This is a pretty common thing with pretty much all of the brands. When you turn your back against them, they might cut out. So we'll see how bad it actually is, or if it does it at all. And then I'm also going to turn on the noise suppression dial just to see if it actually does anything with cutting out any of the background noise. So let's just get going here. So yeah, I'm just walking away from the camera. Honestly, this is probably about as far as you'd ever really walk away from a camera to begin with, because any further and you're really not going to be in the frame, unless you're using like a long zoom lens or something like that. But let's turn my back here, see if this thing cuts out yet. So now we're turning away, the microphone's blocked by my body. Did it cut out? Pretty much I'm guessing it might have, because most microphones that are wireless, once they lose that connection from the line of sight, they will cut out. So let me turn on the noise suppression button here. All right, so now the noise button's on, so you shouldn't be hearing any background noise. If you do, that's fine. Maybe it just doesn't work that great. We'll see. The other thing with this, though, is that it also might make my voice sound a little different, but we'll see what it sounds like once we get back into the house and check it out on the computer. Once again, I'm going to turn my back. Now it's probably cut out, I'm not sure. All right, so I'm going to turn the noise suppression off here, see this car going by. But you're not going to really be this far away from a camera, like, ever. So, like right now, I'm worried if this car's going to stop and grab my camera, but nope, they went past it. So, yeah, this is a pretty good range test, about 400 or 500 feet away from the camera here. I think it probably worked fine. So, but let's be honest, you guys, you're going to be about 10, 20 feet away from a camera at most, because that's just how you're going to use this microphone. So the range test is a little silly, because I don't think you're ever really going to be a football field away from a camera. Because yeah, this is going to totally be the range that you would probably ever be as far away from a camera as possible. So, so let's go take this thing back inside and see how it did. Okay, so that test pretty much went as well as I expected it to. A lot of these wireless microphones, they all kind of have the same thing, where if you get anything in between you and the line of sight, they kind of just cut out. That is kind of the one nice thing, though, about some of those expensive kits, is that when you do have that internal recording on the microphones, you can always just go back to that and use those files instead of your wireless file. But honestly, this thing did really well. I think it's going to be a great kit for people who want to spend $100 on a microphone kit instead of $400. But if you have any questions, you guys, about this microphone, please leave me a comment down below. Subscribe to this channel, you guys, if you want to follow along to a lot of other Sony content, microphone content. And as always, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.